Chris Webber, Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA analyst, and host of the NBA TV's Players Only, which premieres tonight with LeBron James against the Spurs. He will be on the call for Celtics Thunder matchup, TNT, starting at 8 Eastern. He also called LeBron's debut game in Portland Thursday night, along with Golden State's season opener last Tuesday. A busy man, and C. Webb joining us. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Did the NBA get it right with the suspensions in the Lakers-Rockets fight?
I think pretty much so. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought maybe Chris Paul could have got another game, or maybe not have another game, because in sports, I think it's very unfair to ask a guy not to retaliate. Like, that's just not in the human psyche. So, to me, when a guy like Paul gets two-pieced or spit on, whatever happened, and he's going after a guy, to me, that's just natural. So I don't think you should get a lot for going after the guy that initially hit you. So I don't have any problems with the suspension. I don't think probably Rondo or any of those other guys do either, because when they let those when they start letting the paws come out, they knew what they were getting into.
The thing that concerned me the most was Brandon Ingram coming from behind. This is when somebody really gets hurt. And when he took that shot from behind, I guess that's why he got 4 games.
Yeah, exactly. I think he should have had the most. And, it's so tough. And I'm not trying to condone what Brandon Ingram did. I don't know the kid, never met him a day in my life. So I don't have a race in the horse. I mean, a horse in the race. But I think sometimes, too, that's you being young. And I remember giving speeches to guys like, if you don't get off the sideline, I'll pay you a fine. You better worry about me more than coach. Everybody needs to come off the sideline in the scrum, or, and those were different days and rules. But, maybe someone said that to him, too, that was a veteran. But he overdid it, and I think when he looks back in time, he'll know that he overdid it. He wasn't even in it. But if you look at the plays before that, so I didn't watch the game live. I didn't even see the fight live. I watched it the next day and saw everything. It was building up with everything that was going on by the refs maybe missing some calls, guys getting fouled pretty hard. And so actually, after knowing the fight happened, I could see it building up kind of in 2020 hindsight.
Anybody ever spit in your face?
No.
If they did.
You know what? How I live my life, like I know God watches everything. And then second, what would my father say? And if a man spit in my face, I wouldn't want to deal with my father. So I would have to.
Wow.
If I'm going to have
okay, what did your dad say? You got into a fight with the Bulls, I think Luke Longley. What did Dad say after you got into that fight?
He teased me because I had a dislocated shoulder. My shoulder was so sore. He was like, "You didn't want Luke to grab that shoulder, huh? He might have got you in a headlock." And I was like, "Come on, man!" So he was just busting me up about it. My father was, but yeah, I never really got in too many fights. My thing was always, I'm gonna respect you, and I will win every crazy contest that's known to man. So let's not go there. Like it will not end. Like I've gone to the locker room after a couple guys, all that, and so with that, you just try to play hard, man, and keep it moving, and. Hopefully, these guys would be cool after. But it just doesn't seem like Rondo's one to be messed with, and it seems like Chris Paul is the other one not to be messed with. So it'll be interesting as the year goes on to see how this plays out.
Who was the last guy that you wanted to see square off against you?
Last guy I wanted to fight, Terry Cummings.
Really?
Terry.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Deeply religious preacher Terry Cummings?
Oh, well, those are the ones you have to watch out for the most, because they'll fight for integrity. They'll fight for, then go see the priest after and confess their sins, stab you in the gut 15 times. But with Terry Cummings, man, I was a rookie. I was talking junk, came into the league, running and looking all crazy and all that stuff. And he grabbed me out of the air one time, and he was like, because I was going to try to dunk on everybody. He's like, "No, that ain't going to happen here." I was like, "Wait till next time." And I remember, like, some veterans, like, coming over to me and being like, "Hey, man, let that go." And he had, like, that old man grandpa strength where he grabbed me with his arm, and I couldn't move it, and I was trying to get away from it. So I knew, like, nah, let me leave this guy alone, man. It's not worth it.
He's Chris Webber, Turner Sports NBA analyst. How would you sum up the Lakers' first week or first couple of games? I know you did the game in Portland, but what are your expectations with this team?
So Dan, I've been getting, it's so funny. Fans, people like, I just tell what I really think, and I don't think this team can make the playoffs, period. I've said that. I've said it time and time again. I know LeBron is a great player. Don't have to tell me how great he is. But this is the West Coast. And so I'm not thinking from a fan perspective. I'm thinking from, I've said this all summer long, that Denver's going to be really good. They beat Golden State last night. Utah is going to be really good. This is a West Coast team. Let's think about, it was really hard for LeBron they couldn't win a championship with him and Wade the first time. Like, when greats get together, it's still really hard. And he's the only great with Rondo on that team, and with no shooting. I don't see how this team, without a trade at the trade deadline, does it. You can zone. You can go behind everybody. Now, what they've done that's great is they've sped up the pace. Last year, they were number one overall, and they're still number one with pace. They play fast. They're going to get easy layups. The other day, they had like 70 paint points, and the team career high is like 81 paint points. So I see them being really good. I see them playing harder than most teams. I see them winning just on the merit of effort. But I do not see them beating these skilled teams in the NBA night in, night out with the championship bullseye on their back. It's almost like teams come at them like the Warriors.
Yeah.
And to be able to ask young guys to come and play. I mean, Kuzma's a second-year player. Might be your best three-point shooter. So, I can adjust to that as a coach. I can take him out the game and see who else can step up. So I don't see them making the playoffs. However, with LeBron, anything's possible on this team, but I do think they'll have to make a trade to get a shooter or two.
But that's what I wonder, if they get to a point where they're not playing well, and I'm not going to say panic, but you feel like you have to make a move, and then they make a move at the trade deadline. Now, I'm saying, hey, just enjoy this year. Don't expect a lot. Just enjoy it. I don't know if because it's the Lakers, it's LeBron, and Magic's there, and they go, you know what, we got to shake this up a little bit here. And then you run that risk of, do you get rid of some of these younger kids? And I'd be against that. What do you think?
Be careful, Dan. You're making sense, so you might lose some fans, man, because that's what should happen. Marv asked me what would be success for this team this year. I said, sign LeBron James. They've already signed him. The fans are back. So this year is, if this is a 4-year movie and you win 2 championships out of it, it doesn't matter when it comes, but you mess up the whole thing if you go out and panic, maybe like they did going to get Isaiah Thomas in Cleveland. Do you want that situation again? So I agree wholeheartedly, and that was my point of emphasis. Let these young guys grow. If Brandon Ingram and Kuzma, these young guys get to be around LeBron for one whole year, wait till next year what happens if they do go get a Durant, a Kawhi, someone like that. So I'm with you. Do not go out and panic. Make sure that you get a nice free agent. But Pelinka and Magic, I'm sure they're with that. They're used to criticism and fake criticism. So hopefully they're zoned in. But again, I think it's just going to be tough for this team with their shooting and the way that it's kind of their talent to make the playoffs.
There was a report over the weekend where there was chatter, I guess, inside NBA with a GM or players saying that LeBron has lost a little bit of tread on the tires there. Have you noticed anything about LeBron, that he's not the old LeBron? He's just an old LeBron.
He's an old LeBron. And old LeBron is still top 3 in the NBA.
Who's better than LeBron?
So better is relative. I don't know who's better, who will make my whole team better. I don't know anyone that averages as many points and assists as he does in the league right now. I don't know anyone that.
Well, James Harden does.
Yeah, but he's not as efficient.
Okay.
And he handles the ball a little bit too much. So Durant to me is still the best scorer. Maybe is going to be the best scorer that the league has seen. I still see Curry, but on defense, if it was just Curry's team, if Curry was on the Charlotte, it'd be hard for him to stop a LeBron and be that defensive stopper that LeBron could be at the end. So because of his size and knowledge, I still say there's no one better. But it's his 15th year. Of course he's not going to jump as high, or he's not going to, in the West Coast you run a lot more. And so he needs younger players to help him take plays off, like players do in their 4th year of prime. He just has never been, he's just never been afforded that luxury. And so, it's tough. I don't know anyone I would say that's better than LeBron, but there are a lot of players I would take definitely because they can do so much.
Yeah, we had Barkley on. Barkley said that James Harden, if he wanted to, could average 50 a game.
I don't know about 50, but 42 to 45, he could definitely get in. I mean, last night I was watching him. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, Curry is so dynamic with his speed and dribbling around and doing, his best Curly Neal imitation. Then stepping back, hitting a crazy shot and turning around before it goes in. Harden is almost the opposite. He's slow and methodical. He's going to use the pick and roll. He's going to attack your front foot. They're going to say, don't let him go left. And then he's going to go right like 5 times. You're going to forget. Then he's going to go left for the rest of the game. He's such a great passer. That little ugly 1945 layup that he does, and then that layup still can turn into like an alley-oop at the same time, and you don't know, and then he'll come down and dunk on you. So Harden is one of my favorite players, and I've been criticized for having him be one of my favorite players, but I just don't know defensively as a big man how you stop him. I don't know how, as a guard, how you stop him. His handles are incredible, and he gets to the line so much, and that's what we don't realize. He's a one-man fast break, and so just the fact that he gets to the line, he takes contact, and he can get 12 to 20 free throws a night. Oh yeah, definitely. If he was in Charlotte, he could average 45 easy. On this team he could, but they wouldn't win a lot. But in Charlotte, yeah, definitely he could average close to 50.
Yeah, it is amazing when you watch. There's certain players where you watch and you go, I just don't get how they do it. Steve Nash was always that way. That if you met Steve Nash, you go, how is that guy doing it? And then you would see him, and Harden is like that with me too. I just watch and I go, I know what's coming, and I can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything. It's like a slow motion move, right? I used to say with Ernie Johnson, just give him a blindfold and a cigarette, on the playoff night, because you, as a defender, you're at his mercy. His footwork is so good. I mean, he's strong too. He has a different body. His body seems like he doesn't have a big chest, and he's not that much. He has big shoulders. And he's very quick. He doesn't have to be fast, but he's so quick and explosive. And you're right. You can know the play that's coming, see it, put your hand in his face, and it really still doesn't matter.
This G League, $125,000 coming out of high school, the elite players, would you have done it?
I don't know. I had to think about that a little bit more because, see, the good thing when I played, like in high school, Isaiah Thomas and those guys would come. I got to play against like Derek Coleman and at a gym called St. Cecilia. And shout out to everybody, Sam Washington, everybody there. But there was like my G League. So I remember, not to go into story time, but I remember being like 14 and we got to play against Derek Coleman and those guys. And I remember, he's 19, 20, I don't know. But I remember them just destroying us to where the fans after the game came over, consoled us, and I remember going in the locker room like, wow, that was the best beatdown ever. Look, I can actually shoot a layup on this guy. I can do this. It was like playing against them was like, okay, this is how good I need to get. This is what I need to do for next year. And I don't know if playing with a bunch of guys with my skill set for 125 would make me do that. I can go overseas and play against some great players and better competition. I think it's about the competition, not necessarily who's being babysat with you. So I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question yet, but I do know that when I played, being able to play against the pros let me know how much further I had to go. And I don't see these guys getting to play with the pros on the NBA team, which is just as good guys overseas or running rec, getting ready to try to join the team as a free agent. So I'm not sure about that.
But you could have come out of high school and gone to the NBA. If you had that chance, would your dad have let you?
Wow. In this culture, yes. But coming out like as a sophomore, it was the scariest thing ever because, I mean, this is a long time ago. This was, 93? But since then, like 93, I was the first sophomore to go number one since Magic in 79. So that's how long it had been. Shaq had waited till he was a junior. Christian Laettner, the best college player in my tenure of playing or my lifetime, he had waited to the senior year. So it was such a different culture that when I left, it felt really weird, like, you can go and you're ready, but you don't belong until you get to this age. So, yeah, today, definitely his culture has changed. But back then, that was unheard of, even though, again, we were playing against the pros in high school. We just didn't know that it was okay, and therefore it never really popped into my mind. But, yeah, I would definitely go today if I knew I was guaranteed to be a top 7 pick.
Good to visit with you, C. Webb. Thanks for joining us as always. Have fun tonight.
Hey, always. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's Chris Webber.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.